So my last challenge video did pretty well, so I'm gonna do another one. So then I asked ChatGPT for the challenge, and it gives me a sentient toast simulator. I was not ready for this. And then when I asked it to elaborate, I quickly regretted it because it just gave me an absurd amount of instructions that I will not be able to read, and I just had to improvise. Okay, this isn't. Well, I asked for ridiculous, and it gave me ridiculous. And it's still going. My gosh. Uh. Well, it gave me ridiculous. I asked for ridiculous, and it gave me ridiculous. Okay, this is gonna be strange. Okay, here's the plan. So we're gonna have an ordinary toaster at first, and then it will ask us what toast do you want. See, what do you want? And see, some very lovely handwriting there. But after 5 responses, it suddenly gets feelings. Okay? Check out my beautiful handwriting right there. It gets feelings. Okay? But now, after another 5 responses, it gets angry because you're asking it to do too much. But then it will have a mental breakdown. So see, mental breakdown. Okay, and now there's gonna be another 5 responses, and after the mental breakdown, it's gonna reset and become a normal toaster again. So then I opened up Visual Studio Code and created a new Python file and named it Sentient Toaster. There's not something you hear every day. Then I created a variable and then a simple print statement that asks the user what toast they would like. I then put in a input statement and then added in basic if statements that, let's say, if the user picks jelly toast, then it would give him jelly toast. So then after implementing a single if statement as a test, I decided to test the program to see if for any reason it the program would yell at me. I may have not spelled the first part of the input right, but then I went back and then I managed to do it correctly. And before long, I had my first bug. You see, there was something wrong with the response counter, and the program couldn't access it as it was. I sure hope this doesn't cause any future problems. So then, after fixing that bug, I implemented a few more if statements and then put the entire program in a while loop so it would infinitely repeat and I wouldn't have to do any extra work. Hey, remember what I said about that response counter and how I said it wouldn't be a problem? Guess what? I was wrong. You know what the problem was? For some reason, every time I would order a toast, the response counter variable wouldn't subtract. And I kid you not when I say it took literally an hour and a half to fix all of it. I had to try many different strategies, multiple lines of code, and I had to reset the program entirely several times. It was not fun and it was really, really miserable. Now, after that whole fiasco, it's time to move on to stage 2. Stage 2 is where the toaster gets feelings, and how those feelings works is that I created an array that has 3 emotions: happy, sad, and angry. And after the robot gives you the toast, it pulls from that array and then it randomizes which one it wants to choose via the random module you see on the second line. And after randomizing it, it will print the statement, I feel happy, for example, and that's what stage 2 was about. And if you thought that was the end of the bugs, you were wrong. I had another issue where the stage 2 would not initialize properly and it would just ask one question, say how it was feeling, and it would just freeze. So, yeah. However, it was just a little bug, so I was able to fix it relatively quickly. And then I added in a special command, in which case it may or may not be a reference to a certain plague doctor. Now it's time for the next stage. Stage 3, also known as the anger stage. In this stage, the toaster would get annoyed at you for asking it to make too much toast, in which case it becomes very aggressive and it gives you a lot of attitude. To make this, I just copy and pasted the stage 2 function and then just changed some stuff around a bit. Like you see, I put in a different list and a different randomizer. And after that, here comes the fourth stage, the existential crisis stage, in which case the toaster decides to be a blender and the user tells it that it cannot be a blender and the toaster throws a bit of a hissy fit. And at the end of the hissy fit, the toaster will just shut down, restart, and it becomes an ordinary toaster again. So, no more sentient toaster. However, because I didn't test the third stage before I tested the existential crisis stage, I ran into an error in which case, when the emotional response counter hit 0, it would just stay on stage 2 and not move on to stage 3. This was pretty annoying, and it took me 30 minutes to figure it out. Now, listen, I know for sure there's a better way to do this, but one reason I'm making this YouTube channel is to get better at coding, so if you guys could provide feedback in the comments, I would greatly appreciate it. But after 3 hours, yes, 3 hours, I was finished, and all I could say was this. Finally. I can sense it now. I will see many professionals mocking me in the comments. Now, all my pain and suffering will cost you a like and a subscribe and comment, perhaps maybe a comment. Anyway, have an amazing rest of your day, folks, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.